What's up, my equals? I just wanted to jump in real quick and to just to talk about something that I mentioned in a previous video. The video is titled "Equal." The conversation begins, and I mentioned "All Lives Matter," which I know is a controversial movement. Blue Lives Matter, which is another controversial movement, and the famous, depending on which side of it you stand on, or the infamous Black Lives Matter. This is what I want to point out about each and every one of those. In each and every one of those initiatives, you have human beings that are seeking value. Now, I might not agree with the way they're going about it. I might not agree with the fact that in my perception or in the perceptions of many, their position is disproportional. But the one thing that you have to acknowledge is that as human beings, and this is what my driving principle is that we are driven by our need for value. So I choose to look at that because that is something that we can all agree on. Okay? There is value in what we share in common. And there is also value in our differences because the things that we share in common, of course, are areas that we can support each other in. Our differences are opportunities for us to learn about each other and as a result, grow and mature and expand and build ourselves in ways that we would not have had those differences not presented themselves to us. There are opportunities for us to become better and to achieve another perspective, your perspective, as opposed to my perspective. And then attaining your perspective, I just might learn something. So again, my point is let's look for the value, even in things that we don't necessarily agree on. Let's always look for the value because again, that's all that we're all looking for is value. Does that make sense? Again, in our human design, at our deepest core, what we desire, more than anything, is value. It is the lifeblood of the relationship. And the relationship is the ecosystem of all of life. So, again, I just wanted to say that. I also want to say that, you know what, who does? I don't agree with everyone's approach. I don't agree with everyone's motives. I'm an African-American man, so clearly I am, hypersensitive to our plight and to our journey and to our struggles and to what we have endured and what I have personally endured my entire life, the marginalization, the discrimination, the value absent encounters that I've experienced everywhere from my personal social circles to professional social circles, social circles to uh, the police, politics. I mean, you name it. Every breadth and width and height and depth of the world is, there's something there for me as a black man to navigate. But what I also understand is that the system of value absence, which is the way that a vast majority of us have been socialized, and is manifesting itself in society in ways that are clearly destructive. They're not humanly sustainable because value absence is not coded in our DNA as human beings. Value is coded in our DNA as human beings. So the only thing that we can support, the only thing that is humanly sustainable, are things that are value present related. We're breaking and cracking at the seams in as many ways as you would like to point to. And they are as a result of the value absent narratives that have been injected into our social landscapes. You are not valuable because, and you fill in the blank, because you're black, because you're a woman, because you're LGBTQ plus, because you're poor, because, you're over a certain age, because your body type doesn't fit into someone else's socially constructed idea of what beauty is, because you're at a certain income level, because you're not at a certain social level or moving in certain social circles, because you haven't achieved this or that, or because the list, and it goes on and on and on. And these value absent narratives, or these you are not valuable because narratives, are not sustainable because not only do they separate us from ourselves, they separate us from each other. And that is not the human design. The design is connection. Look at your body. All of your parts are connected. Look at the universe. Everything that you see outside of you is connected. The air is connected by the molecules, and you don't see any. You can't see where the sky ends and the land begins. It even looks connected. Okay, so anything that is built in division and that fosters division is not humanly sustainable, because that's just not how we're built. Okay, the body is the template for success. The body exists in unison, it survives in unison, and it thrives in unison. And if you look at the template for any other successful thing, a basketball team, even an inanimate object, a car, you look at the motor, it's all the parts working together, not separate, not divided, together to foster and to cause a certain outcome. Okay? So if nature has set this template in place, and if it's been working and continues to work, and you can see it working right in front of your own eyes, what is it that you're trying to reinvent? Okay? And if you are not following that template, you're probably going to run into problems just like we have in society, and you can see the evidence of that everywhere. So again, it doesn't matter whether you support Black Lives Matter. It doesn't matter whether you support All Lives Matter. It doesn't matter if you support Blue Lives Matter. It doesn't matter if you support gender equality or LGBTQ plus rights, or, not discriminating against people because of their ethnicity, Asian Pacific Islanders. It doesn't matter what you support or what you believe. Your design says that you, at your deepest core, seek and need value. That is the one common thread that connects us all. So once we realize that and we start to focus on pathways of creating value, of recognizing our own value, of assigning that value that is ours to ourselves, and allowing that value to pour out of us into humanity and into our human encounters, until we start to move on value, in value ways and in value pathways, we're going to continue to have problems. So again, probably spoke longer than I wanted to, but that is what I wanted to kind of put out there. There are a lot of things that I do and don't support. There are a lot of choices that I do and don't support. But I do support your right to choose, because you know what? I don't want anyone taking my right to choose away from me. And whatever it is that you're choosing that perhaps I'm not choosing, there's still value in that, because you know what? That means that there's something that I can learn from you. And vice versa, there's something you can learn from me. So I can become better because of our differences, and so can you. So again, let's not look at things as liabilities. Let's look at both our similarities and our differences as assets. Let's look for the value. And I promise you, if we find the value, their joy is also. And that's how I'm choosing to live. Let's start where we can agree on. Let's agree that we're all looking for value. That is a common desire that we all share. And then let's find another thing that we agree on. And then let's find 3 things that we agree on. And then 4 things. And then let's build out from there. And before you know it, we might be agreeing on more than we disagree on. And even for those things that we disagree on, let's open those boxes and let's unpack those. Because you know what? There may be blessings in there for you. There may be blessings in there for me. And there are blessings in there because there are lessons in there. And information is power. So what I learn from you empowers me, and what you learn from me empowers you. If we really look at it, there's no downside. We've just been made to believe that there is. Socialization is a beast. Okay? Not all of it, but a whole lot of it that have, kept a few in power and caused the masses, immense pain and suffering. And it is because we have been taught not to value each other. But once we begin to value each other, then we will also see those value absent symptoms such as hate and racism and discrimination and, violence from, microaggression, a look, a tone of voice to, physical assaults. We'll see all those things diminish because, again, what is at the core of it is the absence of value. The fact that you don't value someone or you don't value something. So as human beings, what we don't value, we tend to destroy it or leave it vulnerable to allow it to be destroyed. And what we value, we tend to build and to protect it. Super simple. Again, let's look for the value, guys. My equals, equal universe. Love you guys. It's time to heal. It's time to recover. It's time to build humanity all over again. Let's build it better. Let's build it better this time so that your children and my children and the generations that come after us can see our names, okay, as being a part of those who eradicated the social diseases And so that they can literally read about what we've experienced in this generation and in the generation before it, like the George Floyd trauma and so many others. But again, they will only have to read about it. They won't have to live through it like we have, because we have found the solution and the vaccine, and we've put an end to a disease whose symptoms have been killing all of us. Okay? So live bigger, live better. Love you guys. Until next time. Okay? Let's figure this out. Peace. Equal.